Okay, so first coat of paint on my tree is the black coat. So I just painted it on one coat with a few touch-ups here and there where the blue was still showing through. And it ain't looking too bad. I'm glad it ain't stuck to the newspaper. So the next step will be to dry brush the brown on, so some of the black will still show through, according to the tutorial. Right, welcome back. The next colour has gone down, which is brown. Humbrol number 26. It's gone down really well. Took two coats. And I just dry brushed that on. I went on, instead of going all the way up and down, left, right, and all that like with the black, I just went wishy wiper all the way, so I wouldn't get that much paint in the where I'd done my little lines. Probably got to top them back up again, but yeah, not looking too bad. Painted around the top. The inner chunk is still in black because I'm going to leave that in black and paint the like a very lightish brown on. And the next coat will be yellow ochre from Folkart. So let's see what happens when I paint that on. Right, so the tree's all finished now. So the third colour of paint, because originally I started with the black and then the brown, the 26 brown from Humbrol. I then went on with the Folkart multi-surface satin 2910. I actually used this to paint my Pluto guardian statue with. So I did two coats of dry brushing, and it's not looking too bad. Now the inside of the trunks on the branches and on the top, I used Revel, no it wasn't Revel, was it? I think it was Humbrol. Yeah, Humbrol 118 US Tan Matte. I used that on my on the Viper A6 plane for my Top Gun build. So I just brushed that on the trunk ends of my branches. I also used that for my trunk top, and I used it where I'd cut the bit of the bark and just went down in that little channel there, that one there, and that one there. So that's that done, and the lines still show through from the black. So that's the tree done. Now here's a bit of slate that I've had it for a couple of years now. It started life out as a cheese board, and it measures 20 centimeters high and 30 centimeters or 12-inch long. And it, like I said, it's a cheese board. I had a load it was bought me for Christmas from my wife a few years ago, and I thought, you know what, that's a nice bit of slate. I'm going to keep that, and that's what I'm going to be using for my base. So I'm just going to pause this a sec and get the bike and trooper on. Right, so putting the trooper and the bike on the base, that's pretty much where he's going to sit. I might have to do some fine tuning. Now, I bought this thing, it's half a log. I bought it off Temu. I was pondering whether to do a half log in the foam, the styrofoam, but I found this on Temu. I think it's about £4.60 or something like that. I think it should have been about 10 quid, but I've got some vouchers. And this thing's actually for a fish tank, and it's all lovely and painted up. I haven't had to paint this. This is how it arrived, in a box with some bubble wrapping, and it's really nice, well detailed. And if I get my ruler, it measures about 2 inches tall, or 50 mil, Wide, it's 7 centimetres or just under 3 inches, 70mm. And long, it's about 160mm or 16 centimetres or just under 6.5 inches long. And like I said, it's for a fish tank. I was looking at like tree trunks for dioramas and trees for dioramas, and this came up and I thought, you know what, why the hell not? So I'll have a look on that. I'll put the link for this below on Temu so you can have a look for yourself. And that's what I said, that's pretty much all my positions. I might just fine tweak them. For the floor, I'm going to use some flock. If you remember from my Munster House build, 1313 Mockingbird Lane from a few years ago, I used this set, and I've still got some of the flock left. And I'm probably going to make some vines as well. Some vines. So the sponge where you can twist it. And I'm going to try and disguise the base up a bit. I'm going to spray the base in the brown that I used for the body on the bike, and some, actually not vines, ivy. So I'm going to try and make some ivy as well with the sponge, because apparently inside there it gives me some instructions, and you can twist it and twist it and twist it, that foam stuff. And that's what I'm going to be using for my base. Also, I'm going to try and get a little Ewok figure to hide underneath here. I've been looking on Bilston Market and I haven't had any luck so far, so let's see what happens. But that's what I'm going to be doing for that. So that don't look too bad, to be honest. Right, so a little bit of work on the base. I've put some masking tape down where I want everything to glue straight to the slate. So I've done one for the tree all the way around, so I can take that away. I've done one for me secondary little stand, as it were, with a clear sprue. I've done one for the fish tank log, and then I've glued down my resistance base. So I needed this to be quite heavy, so I've got my filler pot, which is a brand new pot of filler, and then just a Heinz tomato ketchup sauce, actually not tomato ketchup, sweet chilli, on top of that to weight that down. So that's been drying for 24 hours. So let's take these away. You can see all the glue marks. I've used the Gorilla Glue, and that is solid because I'm using that to pick that up. I've primed and spray painted the base. I did it while it was in the stand. That was in there like that. So I've done the grey primer and then the camo brown, which I've been using for the bike body, and I also used it for the pulse rifle. So that's all glued down now. So I'll take that out. So now that's glued down and dry for 24 hours, I can actually start the work with my flock and with a Mod Podge. So I'm going to put all the glue on the Mod Podge, lay my flock down, and that's going to be the base, the floor for my forest Endor. So let's see what happens. Right, welcome back. I've now done the groundwork on my base. Using the foliage and grassy set from Scene-a-rama that I've had for about 8 or 9 years. I don't know how long it's been since the 1313 Mockingbird Lane Munster House from Moebius, because if you remember I did the garden with this. I'm using the yellow flowers powder for the base. So I painted the Mod Podge on neat with a brush. Then I used my little sprinkler with the yellow powder. Excuse me. Let that 24 hours to set. Then I mixed some PVA and water and sprayed it on. Let that 24 hours to cure. And then I went back over with a Mod Podge again and let that 24 hours to cure, and it's got a lovely crusty consistency. That's what I want. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the Humbrol 26 brown, and I'm going to paint over this, and that's going to be my muddy ground for my diorama. Right, welcome back. I've left this overnight to dry with the Humbrol 26 brown. It's not dried too bad. There's a bit of yellow showing through, but that's not a problem, because what I was thinking about, the camo brown that I painted the stand in and the body of the bike, I'm thinking about giving this a very light dusting in that camo brown, and I want some of the other brown to show through as well, so hence why I'm going to give it a light dusting. But it's dried really nice, not too bad at all. So I think that's what I'm going to do next. I've just got to wait for the weather outside to pick up a little bit, because it's been raining this morning, and hopefully this afternoon I'll be able to give this the light dusting. Right, welcome back. I've now let the brown dry, because if you remember I said I was going to lightly dust it with a camo brown. That's what I've done, and it's looking really nice. Some of the original coat that I painted on with the Humbrol 26 brown is still showing through a little. I've also took the tape away for where I've masked it off from my tree, my fish tank log, and the support. Now the support rod, the clear sprue, I'm glued that into place with the Gorilla Glue Clear. I've only just done that about 10 minutes ago. And then I've put the bike back on its stand, so it actually holds that down. The weight of the bike will hold that down to help the glue dry. So if I put my tree back, put the flash on. Now you can probably make out that I've got to re-top up around the edges where the tape was, because the tape was slightly bigger than the roots. So what I'll do is when I glue the tree and my fish tank log back into place, I'll then re-get that flock out with a Mod Podge and just top that up, and then repaint it all brown. But yeah, it's not looking too bad. I'm really well chuffed that I did. I'm really well chuffed on how the browns turned out. So it's going to be a week or so before I order the leaves, the grass tufts and the ferns, because I've got to wait till I get paid till I order those. And then once they arrive, I can actually glue the tree down, glue the fish tank tree down, and then I can start work on the rest of the forage foliage. But that's where I'm sitting at the moment.